Imagine you're a banker and you gotta deal with a lot of big numbers like credit cards, debit cards, account numbers, all these big long numbers that no one wants to remember. So imagine we can take them and we can store them. So like Mike's credit card number will be equal to Mike's credit card number, the word. And then from there we can grab Mike's credit card number and throw it wherever we need. And it will always link to that number. It will always contain that number. That's how variables work. Variables can contain data temporarily, and you can call that variable wherever and whenever you need within your application. Let's get started. So right here you can see the structure of a variable in JavaScript at least. So we gotta call it one of the three keywords. In ES5 you use var, and in ES6 and up you can use let and const. Let's start with var for now. So let's go back to that credit card example. So I'm just gonna call this Mike's credit card number. And we're gonna set it to, here we go, that's my credit card number, please don't use it. Console.log, it's a way to print out anything to the console. We're gonna throw that. So take a second and think about what we're gonna see in the console. A, we're going to see this number here, or B, we're going to see this word right here. Give you a second to think about that. There we go, and we get a number. So what happened is we called the word, it went back to the declaration and saw, okay, this is where we declared it, and then it checked what we set for it to contain. So what does Mike's credit card number contain? Obviously the name is pretty self-explanatory, but if it wasn't, if it was called something like, and we just took that, put that there we go, we get that number. So let's get rid of this and do another one. We'll go and work with Mike's name. We'll take a string, we'll go Mike something, and then we'll console.log that. So console.log. Now I'll give you a second to think. What do you think is going to print in the console? Will it be Mike's name, or is it going to be the actual name or the string Mike something? Take a second to think. All right, so we see here Mike something printed out. So what? Same thing as before. It saw this word, it went back to the declaration, and then it checked what was set to it. It checked what the word is containing. So it sees Mike's name contains Mike something, and it grabs that and it throws it in here. So it's almost like a placeholder now. So it, again, goes from here, finds this line, sees what it's equal to, grabs what it's equal to, and then replaces it with here. So pretty much what happens is that. But if we wanted to, let's say we just called this the letter M, super short. Now we could do this, call it 5 times, and all we have to do is put 5 letters. Imagine having to type out this 5 times every single time within a console.log. It gets pretty long and annoying. And also you can go even more complicated and set other things to here, but for now we're just sticking with strings and numbers. So we can print this, and you'll see it says Mike something 5 times. So that makes sense. One thing I should note is that const doesn't allow the value you set to be changed. So if we do number, so let's say we do phone number, 123. And it's 2019 and my phone, my plan is out, and I want to do another one. So I grab phone number, and now I'm trying to set it to a new number, 456. And then let's go in the console and put my phone number. So what is its current value? That's pretty much what we're asking. And before I run this, I want you to think, which one is it going to show? 1, 2, or 3? Sorry, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6. Let's run it. So we get an error, and it says assignment to constant value. So that's exactly the issue with the word const, or the benefit of it. It allows you to keep its original value, and if by accident you try and change it, it will throw an error. So let's say you're grabbing a credit card from a user and you're trying to put that in the database. You don't want that ever being affected. You want to take it and send it straight to the database because it's not something you want to change. If they want to change it, you'll probably overwrite it or something like that. So we're going to set it as a const and make sure that the whole way through it never changes. So if we change this to var or let, we can use let too. The difference between var, let, and const behind the scene is something called scope. I'm not going to get into that in this video. For now, stick to var. You can use const if you really want to, but I would stick to var just at the basics, at the beginning of your learning journey. So let's run this and let's see what happens. We have the option of a 1, 2, 3 printing out or 4, 5, 6. Before we tried to run it and it broke. Let's see what happens. So we get 4, 5, 6. So in this case, because it's not a const, because it's a var or a let, it isn't being blocked to change its value on the go. So it starts as 1, 2, 3. So if we actually take this and we throw that here, we can do this. So we can put that, and here we can go so that's its original value, and this is after change. We can print this out. You can see that originally it started as 1, 2, 3, and then after it got changed, it went to 4, 5, 6. Now again, I want to stress this, that if you do const, it will break. You can actually see that it doesn't even print original. It just straight up breaks. It goes through the whole code before it starts, line by line, and it breaks and it just quits. So it's important to understand that. Let's get rid of this. Open Visual Studio, and now we'll do this in C#. So again, we'll go back to the credit card. So what we're going to do is we're going to type int. We're going to go Mike's credit card number. I'm gonna set this 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So it's throwing an error. Let's see why. We're gonna hover over it. Cannot implicitly convert type long to int. So what it's trying to say is we have a really long number and we're setting it to integer. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of this, but in C#, each type, when it comes to numbers, has different lengths you can put. So int keeps smaller numbers usually, where long you can go to really long, really big numbers. Then you can do like floats where it's with decimals. In languages like JavaScript, it doesn't matter. It'll do this behind the scenes and you don't need to worry about. But here we do. So we're going to change this to long because it's a very long number. And now that should go away. Now what we can do is we can go and do the equivalent of console.log. The first thing we need to do is console dot, whoops. And the second thing we need to do is console dot read line, so the terminal doesn't close right away on us. We could take Mike's credit card number, throw it in here. Press F5, let it build and compiled and run, and we can see the credit card number over there. So that went through. Now let's try something else. Let's go in here and let's say Mike's name. Go in here, Mike something, and it's breaking. If I try to run it, it'll throw an error. But we can see here that it exited with the error code right here on the last line. We hover over this and it says cannot implicitly convert type string to long. So we have a string and we're trying to set it to a container for a long. Now you can imagine this as shape. So you have a cube and 2 Tupperwares, let's say. And one Tupperware is a cube, a little bit bigger than the one you're holding. Another one's a circle. And the cube you're trying to fit inside of a circle and it's just not fitting. But if you change it to a cube Tupperware like this, it will do a perfect fit, and if you run it, boom, it will show up over there. So I hope that helped. I went through this pretty quick, but we're going to be going over variables in every single part of development from now on. So arrays, objects, functions, all that stuff, it has variables in it, or very similar things to it. So it's really important that you guys go through this video a couple times, maybe write some notes, maybe open up your console or your IDE and put the screen next to mine, and do it with me, and try out some things. Maybe put two numbers and try and add them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.